stands, a cough, when all of your problems on your are zinc and our immune system, throat lining, on the intestinal. The deal is, you don't have to go with the 2-dropperfuls. That's an adult dosage, and if you're a sensitive adult, you don't have to do 2-dropperfuls. But that's what I do, you know, and it's amazing. I remember I was coming down with this flu because I was traveling. I wasn't sleeping. I was traveling. I was run down, just like everybody says, ran my immune system down because I was finishing up a book deadline. I didn't sleep for 6 months, basically, finishing up a book feverishly with Spirit of Compassion and doing all that I'm doing. And so the thing is, you know, ran myself down, and everybody had the flu around me. And then, all of a sudden, I felt it come on, all right? And I knew. And I got this, boom. Did the zinc shock therapy? Incredible. So that's the whole thing. So I want to talk about a copper misconception. If you take zinc, it gets rid of all your copper. That's the misconception. Mistake. That's a mistake and not true. Very important, okay? That's misinformation. Zinc won't rid your copper in your body. It's not how it works. Very critical to know this. See, first of all, we're overloaded with toxic copper. We're overloaded and run down. We're so filled up with copper. It's ridiculous. We come with copper into this lifetime. Every single generation, we have copper packed in our livers. It's why everybody has eczema and psoriasis, lichen sclerosis, all the different conditions, the skin conditions, because of copper. So that's the whole point. So I just want to kind of run through that a little bit. Here's how it works. We're so inundated with toxic copper in our system. Having the right kind of zinc can help with loosening up that really toxic copper and getting some of that out. That's how it works. It's critical. But what we are missing is zinc. That's where the whole mistake is. So everybody's afraid of taking zinc for no reason, basically, when we need it, and it's that important. So zinc shock therapy, I told you how to do it. You can do a lesser dosage if you need to. Go to Vimergy.com. V as in Victor, IMERGY.com. That's where the zinc is, so it's really important. Don't get another zinc, because you get another zinc. If you get another zinc, go ahead, but just it's not my recommendation. That's all I can say, because it's going to have citric acid, it's going to have potassium sorbate in it, it's going to have something else in it, a whole bit, and it's going to just probably make you sick. So you got to be careful. So we have to figure it out. Okay, let's go into the next thing. It's really important. Oh, another thing too is it's not all zincs are the same. It's liquid zinc sulfate. That's the key. Zinc sulfate. So I need to go into that. Vitamin C. Let's talk to that a little bit about that. Vitamin C. Another part of your immune system, what it needs. Now, if you take vitamin C in a multivitamin, it's not enough. If vitamin C is in something that you're taking and it's just a little bit, it's not enough. It's not going to cut it, especially with cold flu and all of it. So it's really important to understand that vitamin C is one of those other things that you need in order to fight and battle colds and flu, which is really the flu, as I talked about earlier. So if you know the whole bit. Somebody said, can you talk about Lyme disease? I talked about Lyme disease on my on the live I just did. So go to Insta TV this week and you see if you can find it. The bottom line is you need the vitamin C. It's really important because your white blood count uses this as fuel too. So here's the deal. I was telling you, we need fuel. I told you earlier, our immune system needs fuel. The zinc is critical. We're also with vitamin C deficiencies. Everybody's walking around with vitamin C deficiencies. It's happening all the time. So that's another thing all on its own. So the quality of the vitamin C matters. You got to look out for fillers. So here's a vitamin C right here that everybody takes out there in the world. Many people take out in the world, okay? Okay, what you'll find in here is gelatin. Gelatin's used for no reason but to bring in a filler. That's the whole point. Gelatin's an actual byproduct. So it's actually a toxic byproduct to the body, meaning gelatin in the form they use in supplementation. So that's just one thing you have to look out in vitamin C. That's the whole thing. There's so many vitamin C's out there, and you can see even other kinds of preservatives in there and everything else. The other thing you have to worry about is natural flavors. If you see a vitamin C with natural flavors, you're going to get in trouble because that's MSG. That's MSG. So you have to remember that. Vimergy Vitamin C, it's the only one I use. You know that. That's the bottom line, Vimergy.com. I'm not sponsored by Vimergy. I'm not sponsored by the supplement companies that I've ever recommended. You know how many I've recommended in the past and still do. Not sponsored, just so you know. It's not how it works. This is about you guys getting better. Bottom line. Let's go into another one. It's because I care about you. That's why. I'm not sponsored. It's not about... I know everybody's sponsored now. Everybody is. And I know that. I know everybody's sponsored on YouTube. Everybody's sponsored on Instagram these days. It's all about selling products and getting sponsored and getting paid. You know, I get it. I'm not doing that. I'm not sponsored by this company, Vimergy. Okay, let's go into cat's claw. The most powerful herb. This is the most powerful herb for cold and flu. It's incredible. It's one of the most powerful herbs. It's basically, cat's claw rivals celery juice. It does different things. That's how it works. Celery juice is an herb. That's the most powerful medicine of our time. You guys know that. I talk about that. Because overall, celery juice does all kinds of things throughout the entire body because of the sodium cluster salts, right? But when it comes down to taking herbs for cold and flu, herbs for Lyme disease, herbs for Hashimoto's thyroiditis, herbs for rheumatoid arthritis, herbs for anything going on, that's an autoimmune disorder of any kind. Cat's claw is the most powerful weapon against viruses and bacteria, okay? Like the streptococcus that causes acne and UTIs and strep throat and bronchitis and lung infections and SIBO. That's streptococcus that causes that, you guys. If you're getting any of that, that's strep. Because we have strep in our system, okay? The bottom line. It's responsible, okay? Strep has over 50 groups. It's responsible for all these different chronic lung infections and acne, like I said, and SIBO and all of that. And science and research is still unaware, and they're in the dark, that strep causes all of those things. What I love about the cat's claw, it's so anti-strep. Strep is becoming a superbug out there. So everybody's walking around with these bugs in them. They're walking around with strep in them. And then a flu comes along, knocks them down harder. That's what is a problem. See, strep is responsible for sinusitis, chronic lung infections, bronchitis, all of that. And here's the thing. When we get a flu, and we're already dealing with chronic sinusitis, we're already dealing with chronic sinus issues, chronic bronchitis, chronic mucus discharge. When we're already dealing with all of that, that's when the flu takes advantage, because you don't even know you got the flu sometimes. You get the flu, and it's just more discharge, more sinus infections, more kind of stuff in your throat. Then you're off to the doctors, and you don't even know you have the flu. Cat's claw is a secret weapon against streptococcus that causes all of that, and it's a secret weapon fighting tool against the flu. So that's why I love it. The Vimergy cat's claw, no preservatives that are toxic. Once again, this is the one I like. No citric acid. There was one I liked recently in the past and stuff. There was citric acid in it. And I have no control over any company's free will. I have no control over any supplement company out there. Vimergy has given their word that they're going to stick to medical medium guidelines out there, like no citric acid, like none of the stuff, and make sure that the quality is above, and they are. See, look, lots of herb companies out there, lots of supplements out there. They don't even have enough herb in the bottle, or they have alcohol in there. You don't want alcohol. So if you're going to run out and get a cat's claw out there, and it's got alcohol in it, it's not going to do the same thing I'm talking about. And then we get cheated. And the alcohol is not good at all, because that's what happens. They put the grain alcohol in there, or they put the grape alcohol in there. I do not like that one bit. It doesn't help your immune system. It doesn't support it. That's the whole point. This cat's claw helps the immune system, supports it. It's a Vimergy one, so it's important. So it helps your immune system, strengthening it. It kills flu on contact. Somebody asked a question about cat's claw tea. Cat's claw tea was what I recommended 35 years ago, when you could barely even find cat's claw tea, okay? I recommended it because there were no high-quality products that were out there. And now, right now, over cat's claw tea, I would go with this cat's claw over it for sure. Cat's claw is not just an immune system builder. It hurts viruses of all kinds and bacteria when contacted in the bloodstream, weakening. That's what happens. These bacteria and viruses weaken our immune system, and this actually knocks down the bugs. That's the whole point. I've been recommending Cat's Claw to people for decades. This is before it was available in tincture. That's the whole point. Okay, so it was only available in the herb, like I was saying before, in a tea form. And I remember I used to recommend it in the tea form and all of that years and years and years ago because that was the best it got. But see, that's the whole point. I try to make sure you know what the best is at the point and everything. The thing is, you'll hear now that Lyme doctors are using Cat's Claw. That's because of the amount of work I did in the Lyme disease front, going back 30 plus years ago, teaching doctors to use Cat's Claw instead of antibiotics, instead of using all these antibiotics, breaking down people with Lyme disease, breaking down their immune systems. And instead, what happened was I worked alongside with doctors throughout the decades, making sure Cat's Claw got incorporated in. And now it's actually become this whole thing with Lyme disease. That's because of Spirit's information, Spirit of Compassion, all the way to the beginning, telling me to contact doctors. So it's important. So it helps your immune system, strengthening it. It kills flu on contact. Somebody asked a question about Cat's Claw tea. Cat's Claw tea was what I system also relies on B12. And then when you get a bug or you're dealing with chronic illness like so many of you guys are dealing with, and you got the Epstein-Barr causing your fibro, causing your fatigue, causing all your issues, you want to make sure you got enough B12. So when you get a flu coming, your B12 is boosting you up and protecting you. That's how it's done. So, and so I like, with me, last night I took, that's 1 dropper full, 2, 3. So that's 3. I took that last night, taking that today. So it's important to know. Now, this is a blend of methylcobalamin, adenosylcobalamin. It's the only way to go. I only trust the Vimergy one. I don't trust anybody else's methylcobalamin anymore because people rip everybody off. The supplement companies, what they do, and look, the big thing is, how do we pinch a penny in the supplement? That's what in the supplement world. So all our supplements, they're chinsed out. They chintz out. They put the ingredients are chinsed, the variety of what they're using, the type of what they're using, and that's how they survive. It's kind of like the restaurant business. Some restaurants, they're like just, they're making sure that, yeah, it looks like high quality, everything looks there, but there's a lot of ways they actually save money that doesn't like improve on the meal or the customer's benefits. It's usually how it goes in a lot of restaurants. So I just want to talk about that. Same thing in the supplement world. It's like green powders, all the different green powders out there. There's all these different ingredients in it. It's a way to kind of like thin out the product, make money, and rip people off. It's unbelievable how it works. So this B12, the one I trust, take it every day. We're going to go into another one. First of all, I want to talk about bad B12s. Here's a bad B12 right here. I put a label on it. I covered it so we don't know the brand and all that because I don't want to get, people upset out there. What's in this one? Natural flavors. Natural flavors is MSG. Any natural flavors in any of the supplement products you have, we're going to get in trouble. So you need to know that. So xylitol, that's in here too. So xylitol is in this bad B12. I call it a bad B12, potassium sorbate. So that's the whole thing. And only methylcobalamin. So there's B12s where it's only methylcobalamin, not the combination of adenosyl, because you need adenosyl. It's critical for your immune system and your liver so you can actually heal. So that's a bad B12 right here. And bottom line, let's go into lemon balm. Once again, best lemon balm out there. It's the Vimergy lemon balm. Lemon balm is antiviral, antibacterial, but it's a very calming one. It calms and supports the immune system, but it also calms and supports the central nervous system. I love lemon balm. It's incredible for anxiety. Here's the thing. So many people, and you guys know you're dealing with it too, so many people are dealing with anxiety. Anxiousness, anxiety, different bouts of it, panic. They get the chest tightening. They get all of this. And so what happens is I love the lemon balm for all of that. So you can take more than 1 dropper full every single day. I recommend with people, if you got anxiety, to take way more than that. But here's the thing. Flu and cold, antiviral. So for flu, lemon balm is antiviral. I like it all year long because it builds up the immune system. It protects you all day long. Somebody said, yes, anxiety. You should be on the lemon balm. Big time. Because that's how powerful it is. So that's the thing with anxiety. You need the lemon balm. But the flu doesn't help us because It weakens our nervous system. It weakens us in different ways. I like the lemon balm because it supports our nervous system. It supports our adrenals. It supports all of it. So let's go into some other stuff too. Spirulina, that's the multivitamin right there, okay? So spirulina is a big deal all on its own. The Vimergy spirulina is the one I use. So I like to add it to my coconut water. That's what I do every day. It's for the immune system. It basically feeds all different organs in your body. It feeds all your endocrine glands, and it pulls out toxic heavy metals. What does the flu take advantage of? People weakened by mercury, aluminum, and copper. People weakened by toxic heavy metals, and that's what the flu takes advantage of. I like the spirulina, the right kind. I used to recommend another spirulina. It's not the one I recommend anymore. I find that this one is the one, in my opinion, better quality, better tasting, pulls metals out better, all of that. This is the one that matters to me. It's more palatable, it's better tasting, it's fresher, and that's the only one I recommend. It's the only spirulina I recommend. In fact, there's nothing like it anywhere. So that's the whole thing. So what the thing is with spirulina is you got to look at it. If you do another spirulina out there, could be a really not a good one at all. On any level, not good. And that's a whole thing, too. All spirulinas are not the same. Don't make that mistake. People make the mistake, and they pay the price. They spend money, and they waste their money and everything else. You want the right kind, bottom line. So, Chlorella, avoid Chlorella. I always tell people to avoid Chlorella at all times. It's not the thing to use. Chlorella is a nightmare. I've always said that. I still don't know why health enthusiasts are actually promoting Chlorella as if it's this new thing, and that's the problem. We make mistakes in history. That's how it works. So no one knows Chlorella was bad all along. They don't know it was bad 10 years ago because 10 years later, 5 years later, everybody's just, somebody else hops on board and starts promoting it, or an influencer or a health enthusiast starts promoting Chlorella. Spirulina is what we're talking about. That's what you want. That's what you want to take. But Chlorella is actually bad. It's bad for a lot of reasons. I'll tell you why. Because here's what it does. It doesn't remove toxic heavy metals. It moves them over and drops them irresponsibly. That's how it works. So if you have anything going on with a mental health condition of any kind, if you're dealing with bipolar, if you're dealing with severe mood swings, if you're dealing with anxiety, if you're dealing with depression, or anything else like that, Chlorella makes it worse, not better. So anybody with any kind of emotional thing going on, or any kind of health-related issue like skin issues, or something that could be toxic heavy metals like copper and mercury, people with toxic heavy metals should not take Chlorella. Chlorella, and everybody has toxic heavy metals, Chlorella doesn't do justice. It actually hurts us instead of helps us. Don't take Chlorella. I don't know why people are recommending it still to this day. It's even toxic, so it's very important to know. So Vimergy. So let's go into things. Elderberry syrup, I posted a recipe, okay? So make sure you check out that recipe I posted for making your own elderberry popsicles. Really fun, really good popsicles, and elderberry syrup, your own kind, really powerful. That is something